right, so let's finish reading our book, Barbed Wire Baseball, this morning. Remember the last page that we read yesterday? They were getting the irrigation line ready, and we stopped, and we're going to see what happens. The irrigation line gave Zinni another idea. He laid pipe from the laundry room to the field and planted grass in the infield and quick-growing castor beans along the edge of the outfield. The pipe fed water to the plants, and soon the clay and grass took on the shape of a baseball field with a castor bean fence. Zinni smiled. Now it was beginning to look real. If we had to say what kind of person Zinni was, how would you describe him? Think of a word for Zinni and all of the things that he's doing. I would describe him as a very determined person, someone who gets his mind set to something and like nothing slows him down. Come on, Dad, Howard urged. Can't we at least mark the bases now? Go ahead, Zinni agreed, but we're not done yet. Howard used flour to chalk the foul lines, and his mom sewed the bases from rice sacks. It's perfect, Harvey said. What about the spectators, the fans? Zinni asked. Where will they go? The boy shrugged. Can't they just stand around? Howard asked. Or we could build rows of bleachers, Zinni said, like on a real baseball field. What do you think a spectator is? What context clues let me know what a spectator might be? It says right here, what about the spectators, the fans? The word the fans lets me know that a spectator is somebody that's there to watch them. That night, Zinni and his son snuck out of their barracks. They were not allowed outside after dark. Zinni felt like a boy again, tiptoeing out of the house with his bat and glove so his parents wouldn't see him. A guard's light swept across the yard, and Zinni motioned to the boys to flatten themselves against the barracks. They waited for the beam to pass and then crept on. They didn't know that the guard had seen them, but the commander had told him to let them go, so long as they didn't escape. The commander was curious to see what Zinni wanted now. I think that we can infer that the commander trusts Zinni. He let him borrow the equipment to make the field. He's letting him go out at night and not getting onto him. So I think he trusts him in that he's not going to do anything bad. The three of them scrounged wood from the fence surrounding the camp. They removed every post, careful not to damage the fencing. Then they took wood from the camp lumber yard. That gave them enough material to build a backstop and 5 rows of bleachers behind it. I can infer from this text right here that they are using like whatever they can find. Like I can infer that there's not a lot of materials there for them to use, and so they're just having to look around the camp and take what's available to build what they want to build. The next day they set to work again, this time sawing wood and nailing boards. When Howard finished hammering the last row of seats, he wiped the sweat from his forehead and gaped at what they had made. There, in the middle of the desert, on the edge of an internment camp, was an official-looking baseball field. The rest of the place slumped, dreary and sad, but the baseball field glowed green with hope. Now, Dad? Asked Harvey. Almost, Zinni smiled. We have the field. Now we need the equipment. He passed a hat among the families, collecting money for gear. In an hour he had enough to send for bats, balls, mitts, and hats from the sporting goods back home in Frisco. Several women sewed uniforms out of potato sacks. When the box of equipment arrived, Zinni let Howard open it. Now, Howard, he said, now we can play baseball. It says, the rest of the place slumped, dreary and sad, but the baseball field glowed green with hope. So, what does that sentence tell me? Yeah, I think that lets me know that although this is like a really, really sad place, they have built a place to find happiness. That this baseball field is giving them hope that things are going to maybe, just maybe, end up being okay. Okay. That first game on a bright May day, half the camp turned out to watch the teams that Zinni had organized. A breeze stirred the new grass. The sun bathed everything in a gentle warmth. It was a perfect day for a baseball game. 6,000 people filled the bleachers and spilled onto the scrubby ground behind them and along the sides of the stands. Why do you think so many people came to this baseball game? Yeah, they were looking for hope. They were looking for excitement and laughter and happiness. Zinni leaned over home plate, the bat he held firmly in his hand. He looked at Howard, already on first base, at Harvey, now on second, at the neat white lines marking the field. His eyes scanned the bleachers, filled with cheering fans. He watched the pitcher cradling the ball, pulling back his arm, getting ready to throw. I really like how in that, they just didn't tell me what was happening in what he was doing, but they showed me. I can't imagine him looking around, watching the pitcher, looking at the fans. All the steps he was taking, they told me in that writing. That was good. Zinni focused on the blur of the white as he zoomed closer. The weight of the bat felt so familiar and natural. It was like part of his body he waited just until the right moment. How do you think this moment feels for Zinni? Yeah, I think it's a happy moment because if we look at all the things he was doing before he hit the ball, those are happy feelings. You can tell he's just filling up with excitement. Whack! The bat met the ball with a crisp, splintering sound. Zinni threw the bat down and ran. He ran to first base, then second, then third, his eyes following the arc of the ball as it soared up and away, far over the barbed wire fence. Howard and Harvey jogged to home plate before him, arms raised, grins plastered on their faces. Now, they yelled. Now! Now, Zinni shouted back. He knew he was still behind a barbed wire fence, but he felt completely free, as airy and light as the ball he had sent flying. Right now, there was nothing else he wanted to do. Just this, right now, right here. It didn't matter whether his team won or lost. Like the powerful champion he was, he felt he could touch the sky if he wanted. Now, he roared as he crossed home plate. He felt 10 feet tall, playing the game he loved so much. Nothing would ever make him feel small again. Why? What do you think it meant make him feel small again? Yeah, I think when they put him in that internment camp, he felt small. He felt like a human being or not even a human. He felt like he was being treated like he was a nobody. And he knew he was somebody. And in the end of the book, it just gives the biography of Zinni and the story of his life. So let's talk about the message of this story. What do you think he wanted us to learn from this book, Barbed Wire Baseball? I think the author's message was the big idea that he wanted me to learn, that determination and hard work can change life for many people. If you're determined to do something and you work hard, it can change your life for sure. Let me see. There's usually a couple of them. People need hope to keep them going when times are very hard. So in this story, there was a lot of text evidence to prove that times were very hard for them. And there's also text to prove that when it got hard and they saw that there was hope and something exciting was happening, those people felt alive again and it kept them going through these very hard times. What do you think the author's purpose was in writing this book? The big idea, why do you think he wrote this book? Was it to entertain me with a story about Zinni? Was it to inform me maybe about a baseball player and how he got shut away and how to keep hope alive? Do you think it was to persuade me to build a baseball field? No, I think it was to inform us about Zinni and his life for sure. All right. Well, that is all I have today, and I will see you at the reading lesson.